Hello everyone, I hope that your week is starting off well. I have got another Cricut Maker Monday for you, and this time we're going to be making a treat bag topper. I'm again using an idea from the Cricut Access projects, but we're going to actually change this. It is set right now, if you were to just go ahead and make it, it's set as print and cut, and I have issues printing and getting a nice solid color on my printer. Black and white is fine, but when I try and do color, I always tend to get streaks, so I stay away from the print and cut projects, but this one was just so cute that I had to figure out a way to do it so that I could cut the whole thing. So I'm going to show you how I did that. Let's hop over to Design Space. My home screen, of course, as usual, I'm going to go to Cricut Access and click View All. And then I'm going to narrow this down to Halloween. Then I'm going to scroll down and I'm looking for the Frankenstein treat topper bag, and it is a little bit of a ways down here. Here we go, Monster Mash treat bag top. So I'm going to click on this and it's going to show me all the directions like it usually does, and then at the bottom here is what I really want to pay attention to, which is the Frankenstein hat and the cartoon eyes. So I can tell that these are cuttable files because it's shown in the photo booth props cartridge. So I'm going to click Customize, and that's going to take me into my design space. And I'm just going to sort of move this off to the side. This has all been grouped together. This is set to print and then cut around the outline of this, as well as score in the center. I want to cut everything and layer it together. So here's how I'm going to do that. I'm going to go to Images, and I'm going to put in Frankenstein. And then I'm going to scroll down until I find him. Here we go. And then I'm going to also stick in cartoon eyes, because those were the names that they gave down at the bottom. And I'm going to look for those cartoon eyes. And here they are. And I'm going to grab those as well. So now I've got both of those images, and I'm going to insert those into my design space. Now, I want to make these so that I can have this be a fold-over treat bag topper. So the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to size this down. I'm just going to take this right over top, and I want to make it the same size. I want it to look pretty much the same. Okay, and this, showing you how to do this, is also a way you can actually make a treat topper bag with any of the images by just doing what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to take this and I'm going to go over here to my palette and I'm going to click Duplicate, and then I'm going to rotate this 180 degrees. Okay. And then I'm going to take this one and I'm going to line it up as well. So now I know that I've got the exact size that I wanted, I've got everything lined up, and you know what, to be doubly sure, I'm going to click on this back image and move it. And there you can see that they are overlapping slightly. I'm going to move the tag as well. And I'm going to take these and I'm going to hit Align and hit Center horizontally. So now I know I've got these positioned the way that I want them to be. So what do we do next? We've got to attach them, right? But we don't want to attach all of the layers. Not yet. So I'm going to take this top one and hit Ungroup, and this bottom one and also hit Ungroup. And then I'm going to take this black layer and this black layer, and I'm going to group those together. I'm going to move them off to the side. So now I've got that attached. I'm going to take this green layer and this green layer, I'm going to group those together, and I'm going to pull those off attached. And now I'm going to get all of these layers attached to one another. Okay, so we've got these two selected. And I'm going to go down here and I'm going to click weld. That's going to turn that into one piece, one single cut. And now I want to add a score line so that this will fold over really easily. So I'm going to grab, in shapes right here, I'm going to grab a score line. And then I'm going to take that score line and I'm going to move that 90 degrees. Okay, I'm going to line this up right in between here where these two will connect. Okay, and I'm going to just to make sure I'm correct on that, I'm going to hit a line and center. I don't know why that is selecting all of those. I only want this and this. Okay, and I'm going to hit a line and center. There we go. Now I know it's exactly centered and in there in between those perfectly. And now I'm going to go to my layers palette and I'm going to click attach. And because I'm attaching that, the cut and the score are going to be attached, and that way I know for certain that this is going to fold properly. Okay, so now I'm going to take these layers that I have and I'm going to leave these separate because I'm going to fold this and then glue the other items on to make this look like Frankenstein. It's just going to be easier that way, and that way I don't have 3 layers of cardstock that I'm trying to fold over. So I do want to see what everything looks like though, so I'm going to move this forward and I will layer this here. Okay. There we go. It will fit. And then I'm going to grab this one as well, and I will arrange and move that forward. I will move it to the front. There we go. That's easier. And line those up. And then I've got the eyes, so I need to size these down obviously. So I'm going to do that here, and I will just compare these to make sure that they are the size that I wanted, and it doesn't have to be exactly like the other one, but close enough. Okay, now as you can tell, these eyes they only have 1 layer. If you look over here, we need 2 layers because I want to have the white behind the eyes. So I'm going to duplicate this. Okay, so I've got 2 layers of this now, and I'm going to grab some circles. We'll need 2 of them, so I will just duplicate that one. I'm going to zoom in for this part so you can really see pretty well what I'm doing and I don't have to change the size of these eyes again. So I'm going to grab this and I will click my little lock there so I can make it as small as I need, and I can also stretch it to the size that I want. And I'm just going to change the color on this as well so I can see what I'm doing here. So I want to make this circle big enough, not bigger than, but just big enough to cover the openings of all of the eyes. I'm again going to change the color to this. I'll hit the lock button, and now I can move this one to how I need it as well. So again, just going to move and sort of turn that so that I'm covering all of the openings. If I need to do it with 1 more circle, I certainly can. There we go. I think I've got all of it there. So I'm going to grab these and I'm going to click weld, and then I'm going to make this color white, maybe white. There we go. See, there's 1 spot there that didn't quite weld properly, and I do not want that to cut. So I am going to grab 1 more circle and I will make this very, very small. And I'll just cover that last little piece. You always want to check that. And I will weld 1 more time. So now I've got a solid white background, and I'm going to move these to the front. And I can layer these right on top, and that will give me the solid white background. I'm going to zoom out here. And I'm going to group these together so they'll move for me. And then I can go ahead and add this to my monster, and I will go ahead and duplicate that because I'm going to need 2 of these, 1 to go up here as well for the front and the back of the bag. And that is how we're going to make this cut instead of a print and cut. So now I can get rid of this guy. I don't need him anymore. I really just needed him for sizing and lining things up. I'm going to get rid of him, and I'm going to go ahead and keep this tag. I think that's a really cute idea to add to that. But I am going to grab it over here. If I can find it. Okay, and I'm going to detach this. And I want to change my tag. There we go. I'm going to change this tag to purple. And I want to change the letters. Ooh, are they all grouped? Nope. You know what, I don't have to worry about that right now. I'm not going to go through all the details of that, but I'm going to reattach this. It is set to draw, and I will just use a black pen when I draw mine rather than changing it to look black on here. That's going to take up more time than we need to, and it's not necessary. Okay, if you have questions about that, let me know. All right, now we are ready to cut. So we're going to go ahead and click Make It. And you know what, before I do that, I'm going to click Cancel. Yes, I want to cancel, because this is a little bit of work to get this done, and I want to save it before I cut it. So I'm just going to click Save real quick, and alright, now I don't have to worry about it. So I will now click Make It, and it's going to show me all of my layers here. So I'm going to change this to 8.5 by 11. All of my papers are 8.5 by 11, so I'm just going to change all of these to make sure everything's going to lay out properly. There we go. That will all fit okay. This guy will fit okay. I will change him though, just because. Same with this lighter green, 8.5 by 11. And the same with my purple, to 8.5 by 11. Great. So everything is going to fit okay, and we are good to go. So I'm going to go back up to white here, and I'll click Continue. I am using MFT cardstock today, so it is going to be a heavier cardstock. So my settings are going to be the heavy 100-pound cardstock, and I will be using my deep cut blade. The white is the Nina that I usually use, but I will keep the same settings for that. So I'm going to go ahead and let my maker connect here, and I will get my first mat ready. And I think this end is the stickiest. I'm going to have to pick up some more LightGrip mats. I am starting to run low. The stickiness is starting to run low on these, but hopefully it will get us through the next couple projects. I may have to just switch to a standard mat if I have to. Okay, so I'm making sure that's down, nice and tight. I'm going to go ahead and click heavy cardstock. That is my favorite. It's what it's usually set to. And this is going to tell me to load a fine point blade. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to put in my deep cut blade because it just works better for me with this cardstock. I'm going to go ahead here and load my mat. Before I do that, I'm going to grab my spatula. And I'll load that in here. I have my scoring stylus already ready to go for the layer that needs the scoring done, and I will have to switch that out when I go to purple and put in my pen so that it can do the writing for me. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and click go. And while I'm waiting for that to finish, I will get my next mat loaded. And then I'll continue doing all my cutting, and I will meet you back when it's time to put the project together. Okay, so I have got everything cut out except the tag, and for some reason it will not draw or cut. My file just keeps saying preparing, 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 and after minutes, way too long of a time, it's just not going to do this tag for me. So I'm going to try one more thing here, and I'm just going to grab this and I'm going to detach the writing from the tag, and I'm going to delete all of the writing. I'm going to create a new text file, so I'm going to do the same thing, monster. Okay, and of course I will have to make that smaller, but I'm going to change this to draw, and then I'm going to grab, here we go. I'm going to filter this down to writing, and then I will use, let's see how this one looks here. I don't really love that. Let's look for another one. Okay, I like that. So I'm going to just make this a lot smaller to fit on the tag here. There we go. Monster, and then now that I've got it to the size that I want, I'm going to duplicate that, and I will just change this one to mash. Alright, and let's see if this doesn't work better for us. So I'm going to grab both of these, and I'm going to align them center horizontally, and I'm going to group them. And I think that looks pretty good on the tag. I'm happy with that. So I'm going to select the tag and the writing together and click attach. And I'm going to try this one more time. So I'm going to click make it. And I'll select my purple mat, and I will hit continue. Let my machine go ahead and connect here. Alright, I'm gonna do a medium cardstock for this. I've got my pen and everything already loaded, and I'm gonna load in my mat. And fingers crossed that it will work this time. Okay, so I'm not sure what was wrong with that. There must have been some type of a glitch in the file. So if you try making this and you have trouble with the tag, this is my suggestion for you. Go ahead and delete that writing and create a new text layer and go about it this way. Okay, so at last we have everything cut out and ready to go. So I've got 2 each of these black outlines, 2 of the green backgrounds, and then my actual topper that is scored in the middle. So I'm going to go ahead and just fold this over. There you can see that matches pretty well. It's not quite a perfect fold on that score, so I'm going to line up the bottom and I'll pinch that down, and then I'm going to grab my bone folder and I'm just going to work up from the bottom. There we go. Yeah, not completely perfect, but pretty close. Let's see if we can get it to work. There we go. That looks pretty good. It needs to go this way, just slightly. Okay. Alright, so now I can go ahead and get everything glued on top here. So I'm just going to glue on this piece, and I'll layer up our glitter glue. Oh, and I just realized that'll be okay because it'll dry clear. Okay, so I'm gonna layer this down. Make sure that's all together. Okay, yeah, you can't even tell that glue's behind there. Okay, and I'm gonna do the same thing here. Just gonna avoid that little section. flip over here. All right, that fits great. And now I'll place the outline. So I'm not going to go too crazy with the glue here. I'm just going to do some little dots around these smaller sections just to make sure. Everything sticks down. Okay. Sort of guide that into place. A little bit this way. Okay, I'm not super worried about this because it is going to be covered by the eyes. I'm more worried about the sides here and the top, and that looks pretty good. I'm happy with that. I'm going to flip over and do the other side. Just making sure I've got it the right direction. Okay. And again, just some little dots around here, and then I will slide this into place. Okay, that is a pretty good fit. Okay, and now we'll do the eye. So I'm going to layer these first. Again, just sort of slide those into place. And there's the first one. Excuse me. And there is our second one. So cute. Okay, and now I'm going to layer them on our monster guy. Oh my gosh, she's so adorable. Okay, so I'm going to just do about this much glue right along the top. And I'll place those eyes down. I'm just putting it up just high enough to cover, just about cover that little black area in the center there. Okay. And I'm going to flip this over, and this will be even a little bit easier because I'm just going to line these up to match. There we go. I'm just going to pinch that for a second just to make sure that it's down, since it's only about half of them, or really a third of them are actually glued on. I want to make sure they're going to dry nice and tight. So one thing that I noticed that I actually forgot to do was the original has some holes at the top here, and that's what they put a little string through to add this little tag. So I'm going to go ahead and punch some holes just in the front layer. I think I like this side the best, so I'm going to do just a very small hole punch, and I'm going to try to get this in here. I'm going to go in as far as I can, but I'm going to keep it sort of in his hairline. I'm going to punch a tiny little hole there, and then I will do the same thing on this side. You can, with your cut file, add this as you do it. So if you don't want to have to deal with punching the hole in, just make sure you add that down. before you cut out all of your layers. Okay, so now I didn't quite have string that was long enough. I had several small pieces cut, so I just have attached a few together. You're not going to see the knots on the inside once I have this on top of my treat bag, so that's going to be fine, and it's actually going to keep that from coming through the hole for me as well. So I'm just going to slide both of these in here. All right. And I am going to just trim off a little bit of those edges. It's not quite so. Okay. There we go. And then I will add on my little tag. I want it to hang that way, so that will work. This is a tiny, and I mean tiny, tiny hole to try and get some string through. See how I do here. There we go. Okay. So there's my tag. And actually, I think I want it, after all that, I think I actually want it on the other side because I don't want it to cover up his little scar. So see if I can get that on there once again. Keep that as small as possible. Okay, there we go. And I'm going to pull this over, and I don't have enough to put this in a bow, so I'm just going to tie him nice and tight there. And I'll just trim my edges pretty short. Oh, he's so cute. Okay, so I've got some shred here and a candy bar, and I've saved this Heidi Swap package. I save all my packaging. This one happens to be the perfect size. It measures just about 4 inches, probably closer to 3 3/4. So I'm going to use this as my bag to stick my candy bar in. And I'm going to go ahead and get some shred added in here, just a little bit to add a little bit more color. Take my ruler and just sort of stuff that in there, kind of. Actually, I'm wondering if maybe I should put the candy bar in first. Let's do that. So I'm going to put the bar in first. And then I can sort of place the shred around it. That way I don't get it stuffed too full. I'm going to fold this sticky portion under, and hopefully it won't get in the way as I'm trying to add this behind. Okay, kind of scrunch that around a little bit. There we go. And I think maybe one more, a little bit there. Okay, that's pretty good, I think. I'm going to go ahead and fold this over. And there I've got my candy bag ready. Get rid of the rest of the shred here real quick so it's not everywhere in the way. Then I'm going to add some Scor-Tape to the inside of my topper. So I'm going to run Scor-Tape. It's a little difficult to see here, but I'm going to run Scor-Tape right along the bottom here, where the just above where the eyes are. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. And I'm going to add a strip of this up towards the top as well, just to help keep that closed, even though I'm not really going to be pinching the bag in that. I just want to keep it nice and tight at the top. Okay, so I'm going to start with this front end first. I'm just going to peel away just on this side. And I'm going to take that and I will just stick this guy. I'm going to kind of run it from his little bolts down. So I'm going to kind of, ooh, that's so sticky. Come on. I barely touched you down. Okay. Carefully, I'm going to place this down so that it's running sort of from where his bolts are, and I'll press that into place. Okay. And then I'm going to remove the backing on the other two pieces. And I'm going to fold him over and place him down. Okay, so that is going to complete our treat topper and our Cricut Maker Monday for today. I think he's super cute. I may make actually some more of these, and you can make even some larger sizes as well. You can make him a little bit wider, a little bit longer. That's one thing I love about the Cricut is you can really make this to whatever size you need it to be. So I'm thrilled with how he came out. I think he's just so cute. So that will complete the video for today, the project for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this. As always, let me know if you have any questions in the comments below, and I will do my best to help you out. And I will see you again with another video very soon.